Hey, everybody. Welcome to BOGO Day 1. Good to see you guys. Let me know. Welcome to those of you who are watching on the replay or the recording. You're going to want to stick around. Now, what I'm sharing today, the information, the buy one, get one free is only good for today only. So if you're watching this later, this doesn't apply, although you could take the great info on these two powerhouses of oils. But today is, today's BOGO info is good for today only. So, hey, so those of you who are new to watching, my name is Amy Miller. I am a researcher and lover of all things natural. For a little over 10 years, I've been researching, and I love to partner with my husband and with our team members, and we are committed to the thousands of families who want to live a different kind of life, who want to take care of their health needs in a different way. Because many of them come to us when they're tired of what they've been doing has not been working. They're overwhelmed by all the natural options out there and don't have time to research it all. They want more energy to do the things that they love to do without all of the added stimulants like coffee and energy drinks, and they just want an overall better quality of life. And we are here to help with that. So today's, comment below if you are joining me live. Say hello. Let me know where you're joining in from. I am here in Brooksville, Florida. It's a little north of Tampa. And today our family is moving to Orlando. We travel full-time in a fifth wheel. We have not always done that. You can see a little bit of our story on our 3 Life Essentials Facebook brand page if you're here with us there. I shared that, a little bit of our story on Friday. So, so today's BOGO, buy one, get one free, is buy a 15 milliliter bottle of Petitgrain and get a 15 milliliter bottle of Lavender for free. Now, this is a little over $33 for those who are non-members and $25 for members. And don't forget, you can actually get 5. You can get up to 5 of these ordered through each account. So this is a great time that a lot of people will stock up. And many of you may be already really familiar with lavender because it's one of the top 10 most popular used oils for many reasons, but you may be not as familiar with Petitgrain. So we're going to spend some time talking about that. So maybe you're saying to yourself, I just need to relax like yesterday, right? Or like right now, if you're back in the thick of things with work, or maybe your kids are off school today and you're like, we just all need to relax, right? Or maybe you're saying to yourself, I don't really like the smell of lavender. Or maybe any of you klutzes in the kitchen, raise your hand, put a 1 in the comments if you're a total klutz in the kitchen. That's me. Or maybe you're saying, now this may seem strange, but I need to really cultivate some healthy traditions in my life. So if you're saying any of those things to yourself or have any other questions about these, this may be the BOGO for you. So let's get into this. We're going to talk about, we're going to answer all these questions and more. And then we're going to talk about how you're going to use these oils and then ways that you can get the BOGO deal today. Okay, so so the first oil, let's talk a little bit about Petitgrain. So Petitgrain is actually, in some ways, these are kind of sister oils. They're kind of companions. And in some ways, I would kind of call this maybe the couples relaxation duo. And you'll understand why in just a minute. But these two have similar chemical components, but they're also very different too. So Petitgrain has sometimes been referred to as the manly lavender. Okay, so it is actually not a flower like your lavender. It's actually, let me see if I can blow this up here so I can see it a little bit better. So a fun fact about petitgrain oil is it is steam distilled from the twigs from the bitter orange tree. Okay, so a little bit different from something like your lavender, which is from a flower. This is from the bitter orange tree, and so some people like to call it the manly lavender because it acts much like lavender does in the calming sense, but it does not smell at all like flowers at all. In fact, it's kind of like, let me see what I would describe it as. When a flower meets a citrus, and someone described it as when a flower meets a citrus and they dance the sexiest tango you've ever seen. Okay, so that's kind of the aroma of petitgrain. And you can use this oil aromatically, so smelling right out of the bottle. You can put it a drop in the palm of your hands. I have a little visitor here with me. I don't know if you can see, but Zora here is seeing the oils and smelling them and saying, I want to check this out. So you can put a drop in the palm of your hands and you can breathe it in that way. You can put it in your diffuser with some other oils. And you can use it internally as well. And so I have a friend actually who uses it to help continue to keep their balance in their blood pressure by putting 2 drops in an empty vegetable capsule each day. And so, so here's some ways that you're going to use your petitgrain. One of the ways that you can use it is to address hair loss because it can unclog those blocked hair follicles. So you can combine it with your other favorite hair oils like rosemary, cedarwood, peppermint for like an invigorating hair tonic. So you can add those to your shampoo and or conditioner and help with that. You can also use it to help reduce any kind of sebum buildup. So putting it on your skin at night or like in your mud mask for a real kind of clarifying effect. And it also is interesting because I have a friend that has struggled in the past with some trauma in her life and a lot of stress following that trauma. And I know many of you have friends or family members who maybe have been overseas in battles and wars, or even in-home battles, and have had many traumatic experiences that maybe there's some stress that has now coincided following that. And this particular oil helps support that regeneration of your synapses in the brain, in that prefrontal cortex, which is linked to those things, those post-traumatic stress struggles. And so this is one that my friend actually combines it with a flower oil over the heart to really just kind of help with that, that and kind of the anger that's associated with it. And hold on, I have a dog that's ripping up something. Sorry, you guys. We have, hey, Bethany. At this homestead where we're staying, there's a dog that is so sweet and so precious, huge, but she also, if you leave anything out, it will be destroyed. So, okay, so think of this also as anger management in a bottle. This oil can really help release anger and panic and heal some emotional wounds that you may have. And so this is a great one that you can use aromatically in that sense, or also even applying it to your pulse points yes, she was ripping up something over here. um, so this is a really great way to utilize this oil. Now, I have another friend that shared that she sold all of her family owned 450 acres of farmland, and she sold all of her row cropping equipment in December of 2017. And she farmed, like I said, over 750 acres. It was a fourth generation of corn, wheat, and soybean. And she didn't sell any of the land or the cattle, but she is now renting out her farm ground and still has a herd of cattle. And she was transitioning into a whole different career during this time, and repurposing her business. And she said that she cried a lot during this transition because it was very painful. And she searched in this book right here, the Emotions and Essential Oils book about Petitgrain, and saw that it is an oil that helps you deal with ancestry. In fact, let me read this to you. It's the oil of ancestry. And it says, Petitgrain reminds individuals that though accepting their ancestry, they can find peace, clarity, wisdom, and empathy for their own journey through this life. And it really helps with some negative emotions like disowning your ancestry, repeating negative family patterns, feeling a loyalty to unhealthy traditions in your family, and really helps promote breaking chains, and cultivating new healthy traditions in your family, and positive family connections. And she said that this oil helped her to process this loss and to let go of this feeling that she was letting down her family, her grandfather, her great-grandfather, because her family had a pioneering legacy. Her grandfather was the first farmer in the US to own a diesel-powered combine. And so she said it was really difficult to just be calm on the outside because she was thinking about it all the time. It was consuming her. And she said this oil really was a powerful tool in helping her process through that time. And she said she just gave this bottle to her neighbor last week because he was dealing with a situation where he was feeling grief and betrayal and embarrassment and above all, just disappointment in himself. And so she wanted it to benefit him just like it had her. And so comment below, what are your thoughts about Petitgrain? What is new that you didn't already know about it? And I'll share with you a couple of oils that it goes really well with. But what do you think you'll use Petitgrain for? Those of you who are watching live, or even if you're watching on the replay, this pairs really well with your lavender or with some of the citrus oils like lime, bergamot, and it also pairs really well with sandalwood, which makes it really great for making like a men's cologne. So if you want to combine your Petitgrain with like a sandalwood, it really how it works well is using it like a perfume, or I mean like a cologne. And ladies, you will love it too. So what's new about Petitgrain for you? Okay, one other thing I want to share about Petitgrain. Any of you who have happened to take the Gallup StrengthsFinder assessment, it's a tool that helps you to be able to fine-tune the things that you're really great at, instead of focusing on our weaknesses. And this book is called Anchor to Your Strengths, and it's combining the science of who you are with those Gallup strengths with the chemistry of essential oils. And so if you happen to, I will say that there are 34 strengths that Gallup has identified. Those of you who are familiar with Gallup, you guys familiar with Gallup? Gallup is a world-renowned researching company that does a lot of, anytime you hear statistics on the news and things like that, it's usually a study that's done by Gallup. So one of the 34 strengths is called harmony. And It's for people who are the kind of person, it's my top strength, but it's people who look for areas of agreement among others. You are a person who feels like there's very little gained from conflict or friction. And so you work really hard at keeping friction and conflict at a minimum. And when you know that people have a differing viewpoint from you, you try to find this common ground. You steer them away from confrontation and towards harmony. And so anyway, you kind of feel like everybody would be more productive if we just keep our opinions in check and instead just really look for consensus and support. And so now there's some very great value to that, and it's one of my top strengths. So if that sounds like you, Petitgrain is your oil. That will help anchor that strength or help ground that. And so because it helps people to work together to get work done. And so I love this, this particular oil for many reasons, and I know you're going to as well. So let's talk about lavender. This may be one of the most common oils that people are familiar with, even if you've never even used doTERRA before. You may have heard of lavender before or used it in a lotion and things like that. You can use this oil also the 3 ways: aromatically, topically, and internally. And you're going to use your lavender when you need to relax or when you've gotten too close to that hot pan in the kitchen. Okay, you're going to apply it topically those times. When you need relief from seasonal allergies. Yes, actually, both of these are very powerful in that sense. They both act as like a natural antihistamine. Hey, Buford, good to see you on here. Hey, Bethany, glad you're joining. And so all of these different ways that you can use it, and this is why really people call it the Swiss Army knife of your oils. In fact, Nikki in California said, I just started using oils. I'm still pretty skeptical, but I wanted to try some natural remedies. She said the last 2 nights she put lavender on her kids before bed and they are completely asleep shortly after. This is huge because she said one of her sons has always had a terrible time falling asleep, even with or without a daytime nap. And then he would wake up in his bed sometimes and stay up till like 10:30. And her daughter has also had trouble falling asleep. And she said they're both completely zonked an hour after we put them down. She said, not to mention, they love having me rub the oil on their feet. So, so this oil is actually sourced, doTERRA's lavender is sourced in France and Bulgaria. And doTERRA actually owns a distillery in Bulgaria where much of our lavender is distilled. This is sourced there because that's where the plant is the hardiest. You can ask any master gardener and they will tell you how significant it is when you grow a plant to where it's native. It will grow a hardier plant, which actually also produces a more potent or more powerful essential oil. So that is one of the reasons that if you go and try to get this lavender on Best Buy, dollar store, name a place that you've seen an essential oil lately, they're everywhere. That is one of the reasons why if you go there and you get that, you will not get the same benefits that I'm telling you about that you're going to get from this lavender. One of those reasons is because of the sourcing. And it does matter where you get the oil from the plant and how hardy that plant is. It will make a difference in the potency of your essential oil. I've experienced that in my own life myself. And when I've used other essential oils before I knew about doTERRA, and wow, these oils pack a punch. So now your lavender, in fact, those of you who are watching, Bethany, Buford, comment with your favorite way to use your lavender. One of my favorite ways to use lavender is I put it in a little shot glass amount of water with, I put lavender, lemon, and peppermint together swish it around in my mouth and swallow. And that is huge anytime I'm dealing with some seasonal threats, which usually comes around this time of year, especially when we're changing seasons, maybe from going from winter to spring or from spring to fall. That is a really powerful punch. I like to call it the seasonal balm because it really not only helps open up those airways, but also just helps me be able to breathe, and any kind of itchiness or things that I'm dealing with really helps with that. And so you're going to love it that way too. So here's some ways to get this BOGO today. If you are already a member with doTERRA, you can go right into your doTERRA account. You can order, like I mentioned before, you can order up to 5 of these per account. You're just going to add the Petitgrain into your cart, and the lavender is going to automatically show up. So now you're going to want to order it on your loyalty rewards order, because you'll get all of your shipping back in points, and you'll also get points back to cash in for your oils later. So now if you need the SKU number, I'm going to give it to you right now so that make it easy for you. All you have to put in is this SKU number, 495-2001. Okay, 495-2001. Okay. Another way that you can order, if you do not have a membership with doTERRA yet, you'll notice that on all of the BOGOs, you'll see member and non-member prices. I listed that in at the beginning. If you're just joining us now, you can go back to the beginning and you can see I shared the member and the non-member prices for this. If you would like to get member prices, let us know, because grabbing a membership is really easy, very affordable, and it usually pays for itself during BOGO week. So usually what we do is, if people have not bought before, we just set up a quick appointment to take your order, but also to let you know about some of the starter kits that people get started with typically, because we wouldn't be doing our job if we didn't tell you about those. So now, if I'm going to sign off here on our 3 Life Essentials brand page and continue on, we're going to be continuing on all this week in our VIP BOGO deals group, because we're going to be showing you guys some DIYs that you can do with your oils, with your BOGOs. And so we're going to show you some of those throughout the week. If you are not a part of our VIP BOGO deals group and you're not already working with another wellness advocate, you can put in the comments below VIP and we can help you get set up into that group. And who's excited about these today? I am so excited about getting these today, because actually I'm almost out of both of these. So a great way that I can get them half the cost. Okay. Any questions that you have, put them in the comments below and I'll try to get to them. Happy BOGOing, everyone. Bye-bye.